The Sports Renegades podcast on SportsTownChicago.com. Welcome back to the Sports Renegades here on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuprich.
I'm Ryan Risky.
We talked about in our first hour of the show, we talked about the All-Star game and everything going on with that. We talked about the Cubs previewing their second half schedule and also the emergence of Kyle Schwarber being here for, well, at least 6 weeks, possibly more, possibly less. We don't really know yet. But yes, now we're going to move our attention to the champs, the Chicago Blackhawks, as they've had a very, very eventful offseason so far. It's barely been a month since they've won, and they've already gotten rid of three main guys. The one that we all saw coming was Sharp. I think everyone pretty much knew he would be gone. The
one no one saw coming was Saad.
Yeah, Saad was definitely one no one saw coming. He's with the Blue Jackets now, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's with the Blue Jackets now. Was that... I forget if it was the Saad trade or the Sharp trade that they got a good forward back. I forget which one that was.
Artem Anisimov, Marco Dano.
Yeah, that might have been it.
Marco Dano is a prospect that did really well last year in his first taste of the NHL. Anisimov is the second-line center the Blackhawks have been trying to acquire for a while.
Right.
And then they got the defenseman Trevor Daley, who scored 16 goals last year.
Yeah, it's not like they were trading, good pieces for nothing. They did get some good things in return. It's almost like, the Hawks were looking to go younger, not necessarily younger, but they were going, for also some good talent. I know losing Sharp is tough because he won 3 cups here. He was here, since 2004 or something.
That trade was probably the start of what got the dynasty going.
Right, and. Now he's gone. But it'll be weird. He's with the Dallas Stars now, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's with the Stars now.
Yeah, they got Trevor Daley, which acquiring Daley pretty much signaled the end of Oduya because he's going to fill his spot. He scored 16 goals in 68 games. That's pretty good. He's 31.
That is pretty good for a defenseman guy like that.
Yeah, they still got to re-sign Kruger.
Right, and then, of course, Oduya, just a few days ago, it was announced that he would not be back with the Hawks, and so he signed. Which team did he sign with again?
Dallas.
He signed with Dallas, too. So, yeah, he's going to be with Dallas. So Dallas has a pretty good team. I mean, they have 2 former champions, 2 former Hawks on the team, so obviously don't sleep on them, but, the Hawks still have their main core guys, of Kane and Taves and Hossa, Seabrook, Jalmerson, all those guys. And
Hossa's more manageable to keep just because he literally, after this season, his salary cap number is nothing.
Right. It's just it's a little strange, but of course we've seen this after every year that they've won the Cup. They've made some moves. This year has been the most surprising, strictly because Saad. No one really saw him leaving, and
everyone thought that it was for sure he was getting re-signed.
And he came out and said he would take a hometown discount, right? Didn't he say that?
Yeah, he did. He said it wasn't about money.
And he ended up sort of backing on those words, I guess. But
I don't get why what the Blackhawks wanted him to do is just take a 2-year deal with a smaller amount of money, and then when they'd have some more salary to work with, when Sharp and Bickle's salaries that they didn't trade him were gone, they'd have a lot more salary. The cap would be going up. Then they could give him a big contract, and his agent said no.
Right. So, I think it's a big loss for Saad, but I understand the moves, and no one can really fault Stan Bowman for doing anything that he's done because he's been so good at building up this team. So
right. The only frustrating thing about Saad is that in 2 or 3 years his trade value might be doubled because he'll be playing so much better because he's only 22.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I think he's only like a year or 2 older than us, and here he is. Look at all the money he's asking for and everything. So of course, and then Oduya is on a 2-year contract now. Sharp, of course, was traded. The Blackhawks agreed to terms with Rasmussen. who is let's see, that was Thursday. It looks like. So that was another move that was made. That there's been a lot of moves that they agreed to terms with forward Rasmussen on a 1-year contract, which runs through the end of the 2015-2016 National League hockey season. He's with Rockford right now. I guess he's a pretty good player.
They've been signing a lot of Russian guys.
Yeah,
which is pretty good. And one thing that was kind of disappointing with the Sharp trade is that they also traded Steven Johns, who is one of their better defensive prospects.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people were talking about him.
He was viewed as their best, the best defensive-minded defenseman in their system. Except they kept my favorite player in their system, Ville Pokka, who I think he's going to be a stud defenseman. And there's a chance that the Saad trade might not hurt as much, depending on how big of a step Teuvo Teravainen takes, because he has such tremendous potential. He could help offset it along with the new guys they acquired.
Right. And of course, I think it was maybe about a month ago or something. We were talking about Antoine Vermette and Brad Richards. We were thinking that both probably wouldn't be gone, but they both are.
You would have thought that Richards would have stayed, except then when they traded for Anisimov, they really had no reason to keep him because they already have Taves. Now they have Anisimov. They're re-signing Kruger. They got Andrew Desjardins. Shaw can play some center. And then Joachim Nordstrom. They're working at re-signing him. So that's 6 guys right there.
Right.
And Teuvo looks like he'll be a center.
I think Teuvo could be a really good player, like you said. He's definitely got a very high ceiling, a lot of potential too, and he played really well in his first season, not even first full season. He played really well he played really well against Anaheim, and he played really well against Tampa Bay too. It's really exciting to see. Vermette is now with the Coyotes, and Brad Richards signed with the Red Wings.
Yeah, I'm surprised Vermette went back to Arizona. He must have liked it in Arizona, or else he would have tried to go to a contender.
I guess, yeah, because he's definitely not with a contender. They're as bad as the Sabres. So
which Buffalo's going to be good this year or next year, since they
certainly could be
high picks.
Yeah,
Arizona's one of the worst teams in the league.
Right. So there's been a lot of news. Also, the Blackhawks 2015 convention is this weekend. That's at the Hilton, Chicago. So that'll be exciting. Another championship celebration down there. They'll celebrate the Hawks and get to talk about it. I've always wanted to go to one of those.
Are you
the
going?
Hawks conventions. I am not going, but I've always wanted to. I've only been to Cubs conventions. Those are the only ones that I've been to.
I've been to one Cubs convention that was going into the 2008 season, and then I went to a Bears convention back when the only sport I liked was baseball. I think that was like Rex Grossman's rookie year. So that was a long time ago.
I didn't even know they had Bears conventions. I wonder if they still have things like that. Because I don't remember
think
seeing
they
anything.
might not do it anymore.
Maybe not.
I haven't heard anything. I don't know how people would go there and not boo everyone.
That's
I'm
true.
sure
it would just be a chorus of boos during the opening ceremony.
I'm sure that if Cutler showed up, he would get booed. I'm
Right.
sure Cutler wouldn't even go.
If he would show up,
yeah,
right.
I don't even think Cutler
he'd
would
show
go.
up.
They could win the Super Bowl, and he probably wouldn't show up.
Yeah, that's going to be real interesting. But yeah, for the Hawks, off season, very exciting. I don't know. I don't think we'll see any more huge moves like we did with Saad and then Sharp. I don't think we'll see many surprises. left.
The only thing that's expected is the re-signing of Kruger, and maybe they'll sign some veteran defenseman to a veteran's minimum contract.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
Just to get some defensive depth, because you don't want to only rely on 4 defenders in the playoffs next year.
Right.
Although, you also have to throw in Trevor Van Riemsdyk. We'll have a full season of him, and he played really well last year.
Yeah, he did. So I think obviously it's okay to be upset with some of the moves that are happening, but obviously everyone should have faith in what Stan Bowman's doing, and everyone should respect it. And then also the players that we still have, all the young guys that have played really well, like Van Riemsdyk and Teravainen and all them, they've definitely done a nice job, and it seems like they can carry the load for the guys who left, like Sharp and Saad. As much as we all like Saad, there's some guys that could live up to what he's done so far.
I think if Teuvo lives up to his expectations, he's going to be a great player. And, I mean, they still got some young guys. They got Ville Poka who could step in as a defenseman. He looks like he's going to be another solid player. And I don't think Michael Roosevelt has signed with anybody yet. His career might just be over.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens with him. He would be another piece. I mean, I'm sure the Hawks would like to have him back in some capacity, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless he takes the veterans minimum on a non-guaranteed deal, I don't think he's coming back. They'll probably look for a younger guy. I mean, I'm sure they'll try to re-sign Kyle Kaminski. I mean, really the only other maybe surprise move I could see them making would be maybe trading. I mean, they have to trade somebody just to get on, because Bickle's got to go. I mean, they probably will try to wait for him to get his trade value up. I mean, Versteeg's the kind of guy that probably needs to go as well, him and his $2 million salary.
It's all to make that salary cap happy, because obviously it's a hard cap.
Yeah, imagine how hard.
No leeway.
Yeah, imagine how annoying it'll be, though, if the salary cap makes goes up by $3 or $4 million in another year or something.
I guess it could. I don't know. I mean, obviously, the goal is to have the best team possible. Sometimes it's kind of hard to do that when you have a hard salary cap like that. And what we'll be talking about once we come back from this break is the Bulls, and of course the NBA has a soft salary cap where Jerry Reinsdorf said he wouldn't mind paying a luxury tax if they do go over the cap.
Wait, he said that?
Yeah, which I think that's only happened once in the Bulls' history. He wouldn't mind if the Bulls go a little bit over, which I don't know if they're at that point yet. I'm not sure.
No, they're not. I don't believe him for 1 second because
he's done it before.
That was because they had to, and he was mad about it. I don't see them doing that because he refuses to go a penny over. And we'll talk about it.
But I'm not sure.
We'll talk about NBA players complaining about money.
Yeah,
John Wall.
There sure has been a lot of that.
Yeah, so we'll be right back. Sports Renegades, SportsTownChicago.com.
The Sports Renegades podcast on SportsTownChicago.com.